Hey guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com. Today we are back with our third episode of Talking Tone featuring Sean Tonar. Sean Tonar is an Atlanta-based guitarist currently playing in the progressive band Story of a Life. Their self-titled debut EP has been featured in Prog Magazine and Vintage Guitar. He is a member of the Progressive Rock Hall of Fame and is the founder of ProgressiveEars.org. Launched in 1999, it is one of the largest and oldest online forum communities on the net. Today we're coming from you live at SOAL Studios, which is Sean's home studio based in Atlanta, and this is Talking Tone with Sean Tonar. So Sean, thanks for sitting down with rockclass101.com.
Thank you.
We're excited to learn a little bit more about you as a guitar player, how you got started playing, and your impact in the progressive rock community. So off the bat, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you started playing guitar?
Well, my older brother played acoustic, and I used to see him sitting around the house playing Beatles songs, and I thought that looked like a lot of fun. And when he moved out, he left that guitar behind, and I dug it out and learned a few chords on it. But it was really hard to play, so I kind of stashed it away. It was a 12-string and the action was like this high and it wouldn't stay in tune, and I just figured, all guitars are like this. They're hard. Maybe I won't do this. So I kind of stashed it when I was about 12 and didn't even try, and got into woodwinds. I was in the marching band and the orchestra and all that stuff in school. And then once high school was over, I decided there really wasn't going to be any place to play the clarinet. So I picked up the guitar and really got serious with it, and I have been ever since. I had family members that were musicians dating back like 3 generations as well, so it's in our blood, I guess.
So tell us a little bit about this guitar, because this one is pretty new, right?
Yeah, this is a recent one I got. It is a Fender that's Korean or Japanese or something, I don't know. Basically, I had one that was similar, that was really cheap, and I thought it sounded like junk, and I thought I'm going to go upgrade. And this one just kind of caught my eye. I really like the humbucker meets single coil. It's like for a Strat, you gotta have some single coils or you're kind of missing half the party. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I don't find that to be a good sound all around from what I do. Occasionally I need to put on some distortion and have a little bit of heft. So this humbucker allows me to kind of go there with a Strat anyway.
Right.
And then for the clean tones, you really can't beat the sound of these two pickups together for that kind of bell-like, glassy kind of tone that is so stratty.
What kind of humbucker did you put in?
I put in the Seymour Duncan, the one that you find in the Les Paul that Slash has.
Oh, really?
And I just thought, well, he has a nice, fat, creamy tone. If I can get that out of this guitar, I'd be happy. Because I didn't want it to be too sizzly, you know. Some are wound so hot that they just come out of the box hot, and no matter how quiet you turn it down, you can't lose that. I wanted, something more vintage, I guess, To me, like the distortion sound of maybe Rush around 1980, Moving Pictures. That's kind of the sound I like,
Right. Now, on your debut EP, I heard quite a lush array of tones. You used different kind of effects to create different tones. Like, how did you go about deciding what effects you want to use for that record?
Well, every song was a different case, where I wanted each one of them to kind of have its own personality. Usually I would start with a basic track where I'd have basically just a clean electric playing the rhythm. and then I might add an acoustic playing the same thing or something in that ballpark and kind of blend the two of them together. I did that on Traveling Light. It's primarily acoustics on pan left and right, but down the middle is kind of a wobbly electric that really fills out the sound and kind of puts some mortar between the bricks, so to speak. You know, it's almost like an acoustic you can almost see right through between the notes, and the electric comes up behind it with like a nice wash of reverb that kind of like fills in the blanks, if that makes any sense. So I go with a layer like that just for the rhythm. And then when it comes to the melodies and such on top of it, it depended on the song. Sometimes I would play something like the Les Paul with an EBow, which gives you infinite sustain, and you can get these really long singing kind of melodies. And other times I would just use a plug-in kind of effect in the computer. Like a lot of times, if it was clean on the album, I just plug directly into the console and get, you know, that direct kind of compressed clean sound. And then I would add a plug-in to add some wobble or phase or whatever later to taste.
So the bulk of the tone then comes from the Fender?
Pretty much. Not that it does much, it's just a great sounding clean amp that you can color with many different types of effects and such. So for the album, I just basically had the Fender, and I would mic it up and plug in the Jekyll and Hyde and nothing else, and do my leads and crunchy rhythms. And beyond that, that was really about it. That and the wah-wah. Those are the two things that I used at the time. So it was a pretty bare bones thing. I didn't have as many colors to play with now. Now that I have them, I probably would go ahead and craft the tone in advance. So this year, you know, I put together a whole pedal board array and went for fatter strings, and everybody told me that my tone just improved 100%. And, and I totally agree, and I feel like a fool for waiting so long.
So you've got the TC Electronic Flashback. You've actually got the big one. I used to have the smaller one, the condensed version of it. Great pedal. You've also got the Phase 90. Which one is the one that you use for boost?
This one here, I use a Boss feedback or booster pedal, and it just adds a little bit of extra mid, kind of notches it up, which makes the solo really stick out nice.
What else is something that you just go to throughout the night when you play live on your board?
Well, I'd say I use the Phase more than anything else. I mean, I'm tempted to leave that on most of the night sometimes. So that's probably my go-to one, along with the Jekyll and Hyde when I have to go from dirty to clean, or vice versa, and the tuner, of course.
And the Phase is what we heard in the intro.
You're correct. Yeah, that was the MXR, which is the kind of industry standard. You know, Van Halen used it, and even Steely Dan on their Rhodes. You know, all kinds of people used it, and it's a delicious sound.
Right. So let's hear a little clip of you playing clean, and then a little bit of you playing with distortion.
All right then.
So you guys have a second album that's coming on the way. How's it going to differ from the first one?
I think it's going to rock more. We've been writing it as a trio, and it's more crunchy in spots, I suppose. One tune is kind of a Latin percussion extravaganza that Thor wrote and arranged so far. And Stephen has kind of a bass-driven thing where he does some two-handed tapping, and it's got a couple different distinct sections that really get down and jam. It's kind of like a storm that approaches on the horizon and pelts you hard and then flies off. You know, that's kind of what that song's about. And I have a tune that is basically, I want to say it has 10 different parts, but it's got quite a few, and it's about 9 minutes long. And
Oh, wow.
It's kind of epic, I suppose, but it's not jazz inspired like the previous album. There's really very little jazz in the mix. If anything, we've replaced jazz with classical.
Right. So what about Bill Graham, who's the keyboardist on the first record?
Well, I think we'll probably play with Bill before it's all said and done, and I'd be interested to see what he brings to the table once these are arranged. That's kind of how we did the first album, though. Bill came in at, the 11th hour and added keyboards. The songs were already arranged in advance, and he just did whatever it took to, be a studio musician almost and play whatever was appropriate for the track, and he did a fantastic job. So I wouldn't mind having him on the next one.
So I'm assuming that a lot of your fans are also from your forum, progressiveears.org. How did you get started with building a site like that back in 1999?
Well, it kind of found me, quite honestly. I didn't have any master plan at all. I had gotten a computer and I got online, and I had some friends that said, "Hey, get Yahoo Messenger and we can chat tonight." And I thought, chat? That sounds neat. So I got it, and you have to sign up for an account. And once you do, I started kind of digging around what they call Yahoo Clubs at the time, which is basically a forum that you could create for any subject you want. And some people had made some for different bands that I like Yes. So I started hanging out at the Yes one, and the people were really nice, but I got kind of bored talking about just one band. So I thought, what if I just created a kind of a catch-all for all of these, and I'll invite everybody from all these different fractions, Genesis, King Crimson, Yes, all those, and that's kind of how we started. Mm-hmm. And I literally asked people in person on Instant Messenger, would you do this? Would you be a part of it? And 15 years later, some of those people are still with us, which amazes me.
So Sean, thanks for sitting down with Rock Class 101.
Well, thank you, Drew, for taking the time to come over and ask.
Absolutely. If we want to stay up to date with your band, where do we go?
Well, the best place to go would be Facebook, /Story of a Life the Band. We update that page on a regular basis with all of our live gigs and other goodies too. As we start working on this new album, we'll definitely have some sneak previews going on there as well. So that would be the best place to keep up with all of our doings.
Well, awesome. We'll definitely be checking that out.
Okay.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. This has been Talking Tone with Sean Tonar.
Thank you.